I call to order the Tuesday, November 13th, 2018 meeting of the City of Davenport Historic Preservation Commission. If you have a cell phone, please place it in the silent mode or turn it off. We welcome all of those who are watching us at home on the city's cable TV channel. The Commission has before it the consideration of the October 9th, 2018 regular meeting minutes. Are there any changes, additions, or deletions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second? All those in favor of approving the minutes of October 9th, 2018 signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the minutes are approved. We'll move on to communication. I would like to welcome our newest commission member tonight, Lynn Cochran, and I would invite her to give a little bit of background for the commission.
Thank you, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very honored to serve as a commissioner here in the city of Davenport, and I'd like to let all of you know I do have some background in this area. If I can get the technology straight. My undergraduate is in history from Coe College. I hold a master's degree in European history from the University of Notre Dame and a PhD in educational leadership and policy studies from Iowa State University. Currently, I serve as the president of Scott Community College, and in the past, I have served as an intern at the Bruce Moore Historic Site in Cedar Rapids, which is a property of the National Trust for Historic Preservation. I've also served as the curator at the Sioux City Public Museum many years ago, early in my career. So this is an area of continuing interest for me, and I welcome the opportunity to offer you the expertise I have in the area. Thank you very much for inviting me to serve.
And thank you for volunteering. Does staff have any communication tonight? Seeing none, are there any communication from commission members? Seeing none, we'll move on to old business, and that's case number DNR HP 18-01, and that's demolish the outbuilding at 1009 College Avenue. The Walker Adams House is individually listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Bill Hammes is the petitioner. Staff report.
I did speak with a property owner prior to this meeting. There is additional information that was provided in your packet, namely the cost to stabilize the building, and also I provided a cost estimate from the city assessor. I did speak with, again, as I mentioned, the property owner and asked that he attend. There was a couple questions that the commission wanted to know. He stated he would attend. I was told last week he came in and we thought so he was sending somebody in his place, so I'm not sure. Is there anyone here on behalf of this item? I tried. So at this point, if there's questions, I mean, we're probably within the 60-day period. I think you would probably consider this application incomplete, which would be fine with me. My suggestion would be to return the application to the petitioner, at which time additional information that you requested could be provided and a new application could be submitted.
Very good. I would entertain a motion instructing staff to return this application to the petitioner as is incomplete.
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Cordes? Yes. Keel? Yes. Juanio? Yes. Franken?
Yes.
Cochran?
Yes.
And Free.
Yes. We'll move on to item B, and that's case LL 18-01, the nomination of the Davenport Public Library at 321 Main Street for the designation as a local historic landmark. Amy Groskoff with the Davenport Public Library is petitioner. Staff report.
So this is a voluntary application submitted by the Davenport Public Library. Amy Groskoff is here. Perhaps, Amy, if you wouldn't mind coming up and just explaining perhaps why you voluntarily submitted this application, and I can kind of finish up with the staff portion of it.
So, Amy Groskoff, I'm the library director. We submitted this application because we really feel, and the Board of Trustees is certainly behind this application, that the building and the architecture deserve that recognition within the community. that it's one of the best mid-century modern buildings that we have in the city of Davenport, designed by a world-famous architect, and we just feel it deserves the recognition, and we hope that you approve it.
And so the couple criteria for the designation process is, number one, it's associated with events or persons that made a significant contribution to the broad patterns of history in the city. Number two, it embodies a distinct characteristic of an architectural style valuable for the study of a type, period, or method of construction, and or it represents the work of a master builder, craftsman, architect, engineer, or landscape architect, or possesses a high artistic value. So it's staff's opinion that we agreed with the application, that the application met the second and third criteria for listing, so staff is recommending approval. We're certainly appreciative that, especially when the city steps up as leaders in this, it's not always easy to subject yourself as a local landmark, so that means any exterior modifications to the building would come to this commission and would have to be reviewed or approved, so we appreciate that the Davenport Public Library is looking to protect this building for future generations.
Any discussion from the commission? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion recommending to the Davenport City Council that the Davenport Public Library be placed on the local historic landmark register for the city of Davenport. So moved. Is there a second? Is there any discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Keel? Yes. Wanio? Yes. Franken?
Yes.
Cochran?
Yes.
Cordes? Yes. And Free.
Yes. Thank you, Amy. We'll move on to new business. Item A is case COA 18-11. Request of Diane Walter to replace the front stairs at 614 West 5th Street. This is the Henry C. Jr. and Johanna Wessel Struck House and is located in the local Hamburg Historic District. Staff report.
So this is a front deck that was replaced, or allegedly portions of it replaced without a permit. That was recognized, and the building department went out there and took a look at it. You can see there's a picture of it. And so you kind of got to transport yourself back in time as if this were not there and ask yourself, is something like this appropriate? I think on the surface, especially in a historic district, pressure-treated wood is not something that's something we would be okay with. Here's a picture of the previous deck. It's a little different as of stairs now come over on this side. It's a slight modification. I'm fairly certain that this is pressure-treated wood that's been painted at some period in time. I did find in the definition in the Historic Preservation Ordinance there's a definition for replacement in kind, but there's no other language in the Certificate of Appropriate section. It does talk about in the Historic Certificate of Appropriateness, it really makes reference to distinctive architectural features, shall be replaced in with similar materials and design. I don't know that I would call this a distinctive architectural feature of the house, but considering that the replacement in kind definition is there, I think staff's of the opinion that this would be a replacement in kind, and it's a slight modification, but staff did recommend approval because it's similar in design to the previous front stoop.
Okay. Is the petitioner here to address the commission? If you'd come to the microphone.
Thank you, Ryan. And thanks, Council, for hearing this today. I'm very proud to be in the neighborhood. And I'm sorry, first of all. I was trying to honestly just make it safer and just do the other side to the west. And I didn't mean to change anything. We did use the materials. We were going to stain it. It was green treated. And we were going to stain it like we did, but let it air for this year.
Okay.
And we don't want to, dishonor the society or anything about it. So I'm sorry if we've done anything wrong, but we thought it looked better. I mean, just to the safe wise, and we just added the little lights on the ends, but we're willing to listen if you don't agree. But we're sorry if you did something out of order, so.
Are there any questions from the commission?
Was the previous deck even was it the original deck, or is?
There was,
No, the original porch was removed probably 30 years ago, 30,
yeah, and there was no pictures to be found when we did it. I
30
know
to
they're
40
starting
years
to-
ago. Yeah, and that wasn't the original porch, so
So that's one.
I don't know that any historic photos ever came of this building. I know some of the other buildings have historic porch, so. Are there any other questions?
I would only say that Deanna already answered the question that I had, and that is where the plans to paint it.
It was like a stain. We were gonna try to do like maybe we had a lady that was helping us with design, but we were gonna like do like the shutters, the original shutters. We were gonna get them back up. See that one? And it's got like a green coming through. So we were thinking like a kind of a to make it look historic, like maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just we were gonna try to make it match the shutters and get those back up and maybe pull out like a green stain. But it was definitely gonna be yes. It wasn't gonna. We're not gonna leave it green treated plain. But it's going to be something, either the reddish color of stain that it was or painted, yes. The paint just didn't stay on that well.
In your consideration of paint colors, the best choice would be to make it use quiet.
Yeah. Right, no, I know. Not fluorescent paint.
Are you saying, Commissioner, this isn't a painted lady from San Francisco?
Yeah.
It's kind of the nemesis of any historic house when you hear stories and see pictures of somebody building a big wooden deck on the front of the house. And but this was a replacement in kind with a utilitarian front entrance step. And just as you choose to paint it, whatever you paint it, doesn't necessarily have to match the shutters, but something that makes it less noticeable.
Right. Right. Noted, yes. I know, yeah. He's like, you will be. I know, you're always right. Okay.
I appreciate the fact that you took the safety into consideration too when
That's-
adding
yeah,
it.
the-
So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, thank you.
I do find a photograph in the site 1980s site inventory form that just shows, it's hard to tell if it's limestone or concrete, but it shows some masonry steps with kind of two cheek walls on either side.
If there are no other questions, I would entertain a motion to approve case number COA 18-11 as presented. Is there a second? Any discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Juanio?
Thank you.
Franken? Cochran? Cordis? Keel? And Free.
Yes. Thank you. Item B is case COA 18-12, the request of Erica, okay. Barnes to replace decks at 528 West 6th Street. The Peterson Schricker House is located in the local Hamburg Historic District. Staff report.
This is a similar request where it's a replacement in kind. Again, pressure-treated material. It's a second-story deck, and then one is a lower story deck. Lower story deck's not very visible. The one on the west elevation is a little bit more, but it is similar in design and approval, so similar to the last one. It's a replacement in kind.
Does the petitioner have anything you would want to say to the commission?
When we first started it, we just bought the place. After we bought it, we found out that there had actually been 60 days notice given us by code violations. We didn't know that from the buyer. So we immediately started working on those codes, part of that was fixing the decks so that they weren't in such bad condition. It started off just replacing a couple, and as our guy kept replacing, it kept getting worse and worse. It wasn't even attached to the house. So it just kind of snowballed from there. We will be painting it the dark brown that the other ones were painted prior. So it will match with the rest of the house when we're done next summer after it sits for a while.
You could see I put a circle on the one on the west elevation, and I think the one is on the lower elevation down there, adjacent to the alley.
Oh, that's not the right one.
Well, then I was wrong. Where's the other
That's
one?
just a back deck. The other one's on the front of the house.
Okay, it is in the front, okay.
Yeah.
Are there any questions from commission members?
I drove by and looked at it. That's not good for my car.
It's not supposed to be. I mean, I don't know if it looks that way because it's not finished or different, but no, it's supposed to be the same. The only thing that was changed is the supports are deeper, so it's more secure. It's not, yeah. No, we did not continue.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve case COA 18-12 as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Rankin? Cochran? Cordis? Keel? Wanio? Free.
Yes. Thank you and good luck. Item C is case COA 18-13, and that's a certificate of appropriateness for 513 Scott Street, porch and railing repairs and replacements. Sandy Dimmer with the Humility Homes and Services Incorporated is the petitioner. Staff report.
This came in while I was out last week, so to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of knowledge on the proposed work. So perhaps we could have the petitioner come and describe the proposed work. Would be helpful for all of us.
Hello, I'm Sandy Dimmer with Humility Homes and Services, and this is Hank Jacobson with Sampson Construction. This actually started out as a recommendation from our insurance company. We've got a couple stair systems on the sides of our property that they're kind of deteriorating and shifting, and we were needing to have redone. And we had gotten, they're sideways. We were getting bids. We were actually going ahead with the project, and then a senior staff person brought to our attention that we needed to get approval to have the work done. So I don't really know. I guess I'm just kind of here for some advice as far as what's acceptable. We were looking at this is the front porch, and for that we're looking at just replacing the decking, the porch decking, and the front stairs, and we'll be able to reuse the railings on that. And then there's a side porch. I don't know if you can flip to. Okay. Back a little bit. That's the side porch, and that we're redoing the stairs going to the porch. And this one, as we've gotten into it a little bit further, we've realized we have a little bit of a structural issue. And I forgot to include one of the pictures that shows the railing kind of bowing out. So we're gonna have to do, we're gonna be replacing all the porch decking, the stairs, and all of the rail system. But I don't know what's acceptable as far as material for the railing, and I don't know if you wanna
Yep,
talk
yep,
about.
more than happy to. We've quoted out originally just redoing the staircase on the south porch. In its current shape, its rise and fall is significantly way more than code permits. It's steep to the point to where it's dangerous. So we bid out removing that staircase as well as the railing, simply because if you change the grade of the stairs, that fabricated iron railing is not going to meet the same grade that we had to accommodate. So we bid out using a railing that we keep in stock, which is a low maintenance railing. It's aluminum, black in color, not quite as decorative as you get with the older wrought iron railings. We've included using that railing pretty much on the next three topics I think we're going to discuss on this project. As far as the stairs go, we anticipate using just a cedar material for that. I included, I believe we have a slide that shows examples of the Westbury railing style that we were going to be using in this case. And I believe that's it there. And the style and case is the C10, which is the top left-hand corner of this slide. Since we quoted the project, it is when we've come out that there may be some structural issues along with the project. I know there was another contractor involved, and we discussed utilizing this railing throughout the entire porch now in this instance, replacing the existing supports, which are made out of the same wrought iron material that the existing railing is, replacing those with treated 4x4 posts and wrapping it with a Westbury post wrap, which matches the railing to a T. And that's pretty much it on the south porch of what our plans were. I believe there was also two
Yeah,
issues on the
we've got
east
two other,
portion of the house.
I don't know if you wanna.
Thank my colleague for.
Keep going. Mhm. Okay, this is the back stair system. So for this, we're gonna be replacing the whole stair
Yep.
system and the
so
railing.
The railing and the steps and actually the platform itself, we bid out replacing simply for the same reasons. The stairs don't meet the required code for the fall and the carry of the steps. Also, if you can notice on the left-hand side of the picture that there's a basement entry point. Currently, there's no guardrails to either side of those steps, which take a left around a corner in the dark of night, and someone could possibly take a spill. The same railing that we anticipate using on the back deck here and on the south porch, we can utilize on that concrete structure and actually mount it to the concrete itself to prevent people from falling down into the stairwell there. And I believe that was it for the portion that I quoted out myself.
Okay. With the petitioner's description, Ryan, I'm assuming you would agree that this is replacement in kind.
We have used that specific material in the past. I know the two examples I can think of, they tended to be on rear elevations. There is obviously metal on the front elevation, but you know, I don't know if there was other design considerations for that, considering it's on the south elevation is the only thought that jumps to mind, but certainly replacement in kind seems to be a common theme today.
today. Are there any questions from commission members on this subject? Commissioner Cardis?
I'm a little confused as to the scope of the work and the different porches and different places. That porch there, that's the west side, right?
That's the front.
Yeah. And do I understand that you intend to retain the rails and supports and everything? I think that one is the most critical, and it's obviously not original, and it's been changed. It also looks like it's been changed quite some time, probably 50 years. And well, I think the proposed materials are just fine for the side and the back, and I wouldn't be very comfortable with that system and with 4x4s wrapped for supports and things. It would have a sudden jarring and different appearance on the front.
I agree.
And it wouldn't be.
So maybe we could, just for everybody's, could we go through this scope again as we do? So this is the west elevation. And so what was the proposed work on this?
This, we're just replacing the front 2 steps and replacing the porch decking. And we're reusing all the existing rails.
What's the material on the front?
Well, it depends on which contractor I go with. The other bid that I have is,
Of course, the
Tongue-
current deck is Douglas fir.
yeah, and that's what this bid is for, tongue and groove Douglas fir.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if that's what you would do
Yeah,
too.
that's the tongue and groove 4-inch. Yeah, what we would price as well.
What was that? Yeah, probably similar to what it is, a gray. And just so you know, we realize we need a exterior painting too. That's going to be done in the spring, I believe.
These are close-up pictures of the front porch? Okay. And then this?
And then that's the side porch, and that one we're replacing the stair system and all the railings. We'll be putting the 4x4 posts in for support and wrapping them.
So is that the east,
This is the south.
south side? Okay.
South side.
Okay, say that again, I'm sorry. Replace the deck.
This has structural problems?
Well,
Is it the deck supports, or is it?
the supports?
It's the
There's-
supports going between the deck and the roof
Right.
that have the
The
issues.
2 on the right are okay. The one, which I didn't get a good picture of, but the one on the left is bowing out because it has the support of the weight of the second
Second
level of
story.
the house on it. So then this one, we're replacing the stairs, we're replacing all of the railings and doing the 4x4s and wrapping them in the same material as the railings. What was it? Oh, yeah, and the decking.
Okay. And then this elevation is it north?
East, I believe here.
Yes. Yeah, and that one, we're replacing the stair system and the railings. And then on the concrete step down, I think there's 3 or 4
Three
steps.
or 4 steps that go down into that basement door there, and we're going to put a guardrail to either side of it, so no one can fall on the stairwell there.
Those elevated steps, you'll run the guardrail all the way to the bottom.
Yes.
I noticed in the pictures on that one, they stopped
They're
about
stopped-
halfway up.
Yeah, they're stopped about, I believe it's either the first or second step, yeah.
I think that was it, right?
Are you comfortable with the scope of the work, Ryan?
Yes, I've got it all written down.
Okay. Seeing no other questions, I would entertain a motion to approve case COA 18-13 as presented.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call?
Cochran? Cordis? Keel? Wanio? Franken? And Free.
Yes. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much.
We'll move on to other business. Is there any other business for tonight? Seeing none.
Just want to
not-
mention.
Okay.
Just want to mention we do have a work session after this meeting. So, and I do know the petitioners here. So, don't run away.
We'll move on to public forum. Is there anyone that would like to address the commission tonight? Seeing none. Oh, come to the microphone.
I'm Steve Imming. I'm president of the Library Board of Trustees. Just want to thank you for your consideration of the main library as a historic landmark. And just wanted to comment that a few weeks ago for the library, the main library's birthday celebration, I was preparing some comments and was looking on the internet for buildings that Edward Durrell Stone had designed. And obviously there were many, many, many of them, way over 100. And they were all over the world, embassies, the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., the General Motors building in New York, and embassies, hotels. And it was really neat. They were by decade. And as I went through there and looked at them, when I got to the decade of the 60s, right there listed with all the rest of these buildings was the Davenport Public Library. It's pretty cool.
Yes. This will actually be Davenport's third mid-century modern on our historic register. Seeing no other public, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the commission is adjourned.